Today is Holocaust Remembrance Day, and it comes amid a new report from the Anti-Defamation League that found anti-Semitic incidents in the United States reached an all-time high last year. Let's bring in CEO and National Director of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt. He's the author of It Could Happen Here: Why America is Tipping from Hate to the Unthinkable and How We Can Stop it. You know, Jonathan, we've had this discussion before. I had this discussion in Congress and on Scarborough Country and on Morning Joe. We've seen incidences of anti-Semitism in Europe. We've seen it at elite academic institutions in this country through the years. We've seen it really, though, in the United States, more contained. Yet we showed a very disturbing poll this morning that said less than half of Republicans consider anti-Semitism to be disqualifying in voting for a candidate. And, of course, this year, anti-Semitic attacks in the United States have reached an all-time high. And I've got to say, it seems we've seen one disturbing headline after another disturbing headline, especially from New York City. What's going on?
Well, Joe, the data is very damning. And on this day, this solemn day, Holocaust Remembrance Day, to think that we tracked in 2021 the highest total of anti-Semitic incidents the ADL has ever seen is absolutely shocking. And we're in this moment where offenses across the board are on the rise. We saw a 167% increase in assaults, anti-Semitic assaults in 2021. And we've talked on your show before about what I will characterize as the normalization of anti-Semitism. And so to your point and to the data that Sam showed in the prior hour, the idea that more than half of Republicans think an anti-Semitic comment or offense is okay for an elected official is damning, that kind of casual anti-Semitism. But make no mistake, neither party has a monopoly on morality. And so if you look at the data last year, we saw a surge of anti-Semitism last May when there was fighting in Gaza, where you had literally Jews being beaten and brutalized in Midtown Manhattan, in Los Angeles. And you had many people, frankly, from the left who are making wild claims about the Jewish state. And that has spawned a kind of anti-Semitism as well. And I'll be very clear with you. It's fine to criticize the state of Israel. This isn't about Israel. This is about Jewish people feeling vulnerable in the places where we pray, in the supermarkets where we shop. And I will tell you, in 2021, that is inexcusable and unacceptable for any minority.
So, Jonathan, where is it coming from? Why is it different now? I mean, let's go inside these numbers. The incidents are up 34% from the previous year. Assaults are up 167%, as Joe said, particularly bad in New York and New Jersey. Is it that it's become okay in some circles to express these anti-Semitic sentiments? Never okay, obviously, to sucker punch somebody walking down the street in Brooklyn, but that there's almost this soft anti-Semitism where people just sort of let things slide, and it leads to the numbers that we see here.
That's exactly right. Soft anti-Semitism, Willie, is a good way of putting it. It's kind of the casual use of things like, oh, it's okay to wear a yellow star, or claim you're being dehumanized because of COVID-19 precautions. Or it's okay to say that Israel is a Nazi state because you're unhappy about their policies in the West Bank. I mean, this kind of casual rhetoric leads to shocking results in the real world. I will tell you something else. Social media has a lot to do with this as well. You know, the ADL, we have a center in Silicon Valley. We found last summer, just a random week in August, over 130 million people were exposed to anti-Semitic content on Twitter. Twitter and Facebook, these have been cesspools of stereotypes against Jews and other marginalized groups as well. So if we really want to get our arms around this, Willie, I think social media is the place we have to focus.
So, Jonathan, anti-Semitism seems to be like an eternal virus without a vaccine. It's been going on for centuries, and it continues and strengthens today, partially, I think you're right, as a result of social media. Do you ever get so frustrated thinking that, you know, we're never going to come up with an answer to stem the tide of anti-Semitism?
Well, I'll be honest, sometimes the data and the reality can certainly be daunting. Look, I'm the grandson of a Holocaust survivor. I'm the husband of a political refugee, a Jewish woman who fled repression in the Middle East. And so the reality is, as you said, this seems to be an eternal challenge. And yet I believe in American exceptionalism. This is an amazing democracy that gave my wife's family, my grandfather's family, incredible opportunity. So I believe there is a need for safety through both more security and solidarity. And I think although we're fighting hate, we've got to have a kind of hope. So there's a lot of positive things happening out there as well. Jews are more accepted in this country than we have been in any other place around the world. And again, we do have a state of Israel today where Jews will never be powerless again. So I think there is reason for some inspiration. But look, the fight against hate needs to be relentless. We can't give an inch, whether it's coming from political people on either side of the aisle, whether it's coming from people, motivated by a fundamentalism of their faith. We've got to focus, focus, focus. That's the only way we win.
No doubt about it, and we have to all come together. I've got to say, Jonathan, I remember after the Pittsburgh synagogue massacre, I remember after some of these other anti-Semitic attacks, you and Reverend Al came together and talked time and time again on Politics Nation on the weekend, and he talked about how Black Americans and Jewish Americans, they have to lock arms together in this battle because, as you said, the attacks are not just against Jews. The attacks are against people of color, and an attack against one is an attack against all, right?
Of course. I mean, the ADL, when we were founded in 1913, the mission statement that our founders wrote wasn't just to fight anti-Semitism. It was to secure justice and fair treatment to all. And I think it's absolutely true that anti-Semitism is a canary in the coal mine. It often augurs even other forms of prejudice. So whether it's anti-Black racism, anti-Asian hate, homophobia, the ADL has always been focused on fighting these other forms of intolerance because the Jewish people will only be safe when all people are safe. And look, I might not agree with Reverend Al on everything or with any politician on everything, but we can lock arms in the fight against anti-Semitism, racism, and hate.
And it is inspirational when you do. Thank you so much, CEO and National Director of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt. We greatly appreciate it. And Mika, again, such an important message to remember on the Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Yes, it is. And still ahead.